99.3 Nigeria Info. What does GRV have planned for Lagos? Today we're talking about the race to govern Lagos because it's exactly 185 days until the general elections on February 25th, 2023. That's our big hard fact. Now it's 192 days until the gubernatorial elections here in Lagos, and I'm talking to one of the people who hopes to win that election and become governor on May 29th next year. He's the candidate of the Labour Party, Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Good to be here.
I think I should say welcome back to Hard Facts.
Yes.
The last time we saw each other, you were in the PDP. And now you're in the Labour Party.
Yeah.
So my listeners are listening and okay, what's that about? Talk to us. What's that about?
I was an aspirant, then now I'm a candidate. So, we've kind of leveled up. But yeah, I mean, I think that there were just intrigues that happened in the PDP, and I saw the whole process through, and I felt that Labour Party provided a more substantive platform for me to engage and chase this dream, and I feel that Labour Party has welcomed me with open arms, and they've been extremely wonderful.
So first of all, congratulations on winning your party's ticket. There was a bit of controversy there for a bit.
Oh yes, it was very intense.
How did you and Moshood Salvador resolve the question of who the real candidate is?
No, I don't think it was a question about the real candidate. There was a primary, right? And it was a tight and keenly contested primary. And fortunately, the party leadership has been able to bring us together and resolve things. And there was no real tiff. It was just the primary, right? And once that was scaled, everything is okay.
Everything's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Lagos, don't forget, if you've got questions, you can call, join the conversation, 0700-993-993-993. That's for men. Women, call us on 01465-7190. Your comments are also welcome. We've got WhatsApp too. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. We've got Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. We're streaming live on Facebook, so you can watch as well as listen. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3, YouTube Nigeria Info FM. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour is here. And in talking about why you want to be governor, you said, quote, "We must make Lagos work for the greater majority, whether they have access to those in power or not."
Exactly.
End quote. In what ways do you believe that Lagos currently doesn't work for majority of Lagosians?
I feel that Lagos runs very ineffectively. It's very mediocre, to be fair. I mean, the transport system in Lagos still has people sitting there in traffic for over 4 hours a day. You have a situation where there's extreme amount of joblessness and low and high unemployment, mainly because a lot of businesses find it very difficult to operate in Lagos over taxation, multiple taxation. So they are also being stifled out of business. You have a situation where the healthcare system is not working as it should for the center of excellence that it ought to be. And you have a huge problem with housing in Lagos State, especially affordable housing. You have a huge problem with that. So I feel that Lagos State currently is run to facilitate certain interest. There's state capture that has happened in Lagos State, and those interests pretty much determine everything, mainly first for their own interest and then whatever is left for the people.
I see. Now, I want to stay on that traffic point because it's a point that you make quite often.
Yes.
In a lot of your public appearances,
Yes.
you talk about the productivity that is wasted by sitting in traffic. How do you think the Lagos State government, a Lagos State governor, should solve the traffic problem in Lagos?
Yes. Okay, so let's start again from the first units, like having potholes on the roads and the roads that are being repaired. We must set a standard, right, for quality of work of roads. You cannot have a situation where you're repairing roads every 6 months, every 1 year, and you block and inconvenience citizens and residents for so long just to repair a road, don't need to come and repair it again for another in next year. And materials that we should start to use are things like thirsty concrete that has the ability to absorb almost 1,000 liters of water in a minute, right? So we must start bringing innovation to construction of roads, right? Then if you go to planning, right? We always, if you notice, Lagos State always starts to commission projects and flyovers close to election. You pretty much wait for 3 years, and then close to election, you start to see people commissioning things. And we need more consistency throughout. It should not just be you want to point at something when it's close to elections, because I mean that's not what we put you in government for. And lastly, we need a truly multimodal system of transportation in Lagos State. One that is not just lip service. So for instance, water transportation, there's a lot of lip service that has been paid to it. We need to intentionally normalize moving around by water, which is making jetties accessible to people with cars so they can have proper car parking there, and creating a system where you could fluidly move from paying for the parking of your car to getting on a ferry to renting a small vehicle that can move in very congested places. So for instance, on Lagos Island or in the CBD, so these kind of innovative means of moving around that allows for this to be normalized, and then reducing number of cars on the road.
Does the Lagos State government have the money to build a truly multimodal transport system?
So the Lagos government is not even supposed to be doing it entirely on its own.
Okay.
I've sat with financiers that have told me they've brought $3 billion, $4 billion to try and finish the train system that they've been trying to do for 10 years.
Okay.
And they are rebuffed because they are not ready to play ball. Right? I keep trying to explain to people, the Lagos State is generating a lot of money. There's a lot of money that's not, because the system is not transparent or accountable, there's a lot of money that we are not really in knowledge of how it's being spent. And aside from that, Lagos State in itself is very feasible because of the amount of people in this state. So private sector partnerships with government, that you allow for these partnerships to be enabled, to be done in an enabling environment that allows for the fastest delivery of these projects in the fastest possible time at the best quality. And I mean, look at what Alhaji Lateef Jakonde was able to achieve in 4.5 years, right? It's possible if you put the people first, and it's not about overpricing things. I say this all the time. If you look at this ramp that connects Muzumba to Falmouth Bridge, it's done as ×5 the cost of the same kilometer or meters of road as is done in Ethiopia, 4 times the cost as is done in Ghana. So also, aside from when people say, do we have the money, we need to have a transparent accounting of how we spend our money. So the government should take pride in saying we're delivering this structure at this price, and it's matching the price as is being done in East Africa, or it's matching the price as is being done in West Africa, and we're giving you the best possible quality in the best possible time.
Now, you're mentioning rail, right?
Yes.
What corridors do you believe have enough traffic to sustain rail lines with ticket revenues? Because if you want to go into like a partnership with the private sector, they're going to say, well, we need to be able to make money from this, right?
Yes.
So what lines do you, like, what I'm asking is, what would be the best strategy for prioritizing which areas get connected by rail first?
I think that we need to understand that Lagos is expanding. And the number, when I say expanding, I mean population-wise.
Okay.
It's increasing. We should not be looking at what we need to just do because we are already behind.
Okay.
Right? So the lines that are connecting the mainland to the island, the blue line, for instance, is going to be very economically feasible.
Okay.
Right? Even the red line.
Okay.
There are people all over Lagos that need to be connected.
Okay.
Right? And Lagos has the smallest footprint and it's very dense. So, and even when you start to connect parts of Lagos, you're going to start creating a situation where more people will move to that area. So this has to be a comprehensive urban plan, right? That also gives allows for companies to go and set up, and gives incentives for companies to set up places like Ikorodu, places like Ekpe, places like Badagry, right? And open all those places up so that it creates development and urban renewal and actually starts to create sustainable communities in these places. So you don't have to leave Badagry or you don't have to leave Ikorodu to come to the island for work.
What do you say to people who say that, oh, the problem is that there are too many outsiders who are coming to Lagos?
I don't believe that. Lagos State historically has always been a place that welcomed people. from even when the Oba of Benin sent people to come and meet the White Cap chiefs, Ahomire, it's always been a place where there's been trade. It's always been a place that welcome people. As long as you respect the laws of the land, you'll prosper in Lagos State. And that's the tradition that has carried on till now. I feel that you cannot keep taking pride in the IGR that you're generating from all these many people, then be complaining that there are many people. Or you like certain people for their taxes, but all of a sudden, when it's time for them to vote, you don't like them anymore. Right? IGR is something that we take pride in, the amount that we generate in Lagos. Unfortunately, the social contract that's supposed to come with it is not really being represented in Lagos State. And even that tax net can be increased if people feel a direct benefit to paying those taxes, right? And that's where we're trying to get to with transparency and accountability. A direct benefit. So, for instance, I pay my taxes, so I have access to a housing ladder for affordable housing. And when we build affordable housing, because you meet certain requirements, you then get, through a lottery, you get access to this building. And everybody knows who got it. Not that you build it and you sell it amongst yourselves, then we now hear that an affordable housing project was done. But the prices of the building are not affordable at all. So these are sort of incentives that we're trying to get to encourage people. So you won't have to be begging people to pay their taxes, right? So that's where we're trying to get, expanding the tax net, and not this shakedown sort of system that we have where a business pops up, is doing well, and then people are just going there, closing their gates. People are charging them multiple taxes, and if they don't play ball, their businesses suffer.
Okay. If you just tuned in, hello. Good evening to you. You're listening to Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour on Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. He's hoping to be the governor of Lagos State come 2023. He's a candidate of the Labour Party. And we are talking about what he has planned for Lagos without really talking about it because they can't campaign just yet. Gbadebo, when you talk about sustainable communities, right? It goes beyond transport access. It also means having economic activities in those places, right? What do you think a government should be doing to spur economic activities in other hubs beyond Lekki, Apapa, and the usual suspects?
Exactly. So when you look at places like Badagry, right? There was a time where these places were tourist destinations. People were coming in from West Africa to come and spend time in Badagry. So you look at eco-conservation. What are you doing with your waterways? How are you making this place safe? The roads that link you to Badagry from Ikeja if you're coming through the airport. What is the quality of those roads? Right? It should not take you 3 hours to get to Badagry if the roads are fixed properly. Right? And then what is the incentive?
But isn't that road a federal road?
Still, there are many projects that are federal projects that are being done by Lagos State, right? And then they hope to get payments back later. But the point is, you also have to look at the bigger interest. If you are going to spur a lot of businesses in that area by investing there, I mean, there's a port that they are looking to build there as well. There's so much that can happen with Badagry, and also reduce the amount of congestion that's happening in Lagos Central, right? That Lagos Badagry division has been very neglected for many years. I mean, I'm talking from Jeremy Felodun or Joe down to Badagry. These are places that need government presence and government planning and innovation, and also urban renewal, which is what we're talking about. So I just give an example of Badagry. There's the whole history part of it that's associated with slave trade, but we need to even move over that, right? There should be, by building a museum there, by creating a situation where you're planning and saying, okay, you have this incentive, you come and build this type of company here, or arts sort of development here. So basically zoning things to a place and giving incentives for those kind of projects to be done there. These things will help, right? So for instance, you now say this is a tourist zone, priority tourist zone, or priority shipping and logistics zone as well. These can go hand in hand, right? So these are some of the things that you can do. You have a situation where, for instance, other areas like Ikorodu, that Anekpe, that are so close to fisheries, that are so close to waterways. What are we doing with those? What are we doing with those environments? What kind of incentives are we giving people to come and build resorts there? So these, and how are we selling this? Another thing that ties into this also is safety and security. This is the foundation to allow for businesses to thrive and for people to come in and invest and all that. So these are some things that the government can do and put in place to ensure that they've created what everybody talks about, the enabling environment, right? And when I say security, it goes into, so a key agenda in my manifesto is the Commonwealth of Lagos, that has people registering as taxpayers, but then there's also biometric data that's collected in that process.
Don't we currently have that with the lag ID?
It's not, I mean, do you have a lag ID?
No.
Exactly. So the penetration of it, there's a lot of work that's done by Lagos State, but you see that it's not well thought through. They make policies for people as opposed to making policy with people, right? There's a way that you can plan things peculiarly for different groups of people, and it will penetrate and be successful, right? Except you're just doing it to make money off it, and then just to say that you did something. But the idea is biometric data collection, so that there's a ring of surveillance around Lagos, so that if any negative thing is happening security-wise, down to local governments, right? And they will also be in charge of data. So, for instance, let's take an example: Okada riders. People just say they're going to ban them unilaterally, but we know that there are places that in this Lagos you cannot get to if you don't have a bike. And people are coming back late from work, right? So how do you manage this properly as opposed to just banning it?
Should there be places in Lagos you cannot get to if you don't have a bike?
Well, if we're talking about bus routes, right, it has to be profitable. But there are places where the bus will stop, and then you have to have long walks, right? So in those places, what service can be done in between that? And if it's a bike or it's a keke napep, it's okay. But the point is that if anybody is doing anything with a bike in a registered, and that bike must be registered to local government, then the system should be able to find that person. And that's where we need to get to in Lagos. We need to get to a situation where people know that they cannot just get away with things, right? Because there is a system that is not only monitoring, but is recording data.
Okay, Lagos, let's talk. 0700-993-993-993. I'm going to come back to that point you made about expanding the tax bracket.
Yes.
I'll also come back to that point you made about making policy with the people, because how, what should that look like? How does one go about making policy with people instead of for people? What types of governance processes should be put in place to get policy buy-in, on policies? So I'll come back to those questions, but right now let's talk to Lagos for a bit. You have 1 minute, so go straight to your question or go straight to your comment. 99.3, hello, thanks for calling.
Sandra, good evening.
Good evening, what's your name, sir?
My name is Chuka.
Hi, Chuka, welcome.
I'm calling from Ayet Road this evening.
Welcome, Chuka.
Let me say a hearty welcome, to your guest. I think your guest is polished. He sounds like a Cambridge man. But I think to win an election in Lagos, you have to be on your jeans.
You have to be on your jeans.
And the top. And move around with your face cap and woo people. Ideas, I don't think will win an election in Lagos.
Okay.
Where there must be capacity to woo the civil service, the traders at Astanda, at Gbadebo, the market women at Moshi Market, and so on and so forth. What I am saying, I want to ask, number one, with the capacity of the government that has been in power for years in Lagos, will you consider a merger with PDP? That's number one question at any point in time if it becomes critical. Number two question, I think it is hazardous for a gentleman to campaign for election in Lagos. Your banner should be torn if you are not of the ruling party. And there is a risk. Is he making arrangement for robust protection for himself? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling us, Chuka. Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour, you heard the questions and concerns from Chuka. What do you say?
I feel that, there's been a paradigm, there's been a model of what a politician should be. And a lot of people are used to that. Used to the politician that can make jokes and make everybody laugh and dance and, has the thugs and moves around in jeans and everything, which is important. I mean, you dress appropriately where you're going to, right? It should be noted that I've contested before. I'm not new to politics. I was the senatorial candidate for PDP Lagos West. I had significant amount of votes in that election. So I know my way around the markets. And Lagos West has Ajomi Feludun, Agege, Mushin, Alimosho, or the main places that people talk about.
And so you had to campaign in those
Yes,
places.
of course. So this is not new.
And you are from the Lagos Island, yes?
Yes. So but there's a bigger idea here. You see, with all this talk about the capacity of Lagos State and capacity of APC, barely 1 million people come out to vote out of 6 million registered voters. This is not touching 20%. Right, so that means there's a quiet majority that just sits in their house and they're not enthused by these people, these thugs, this moving around in jeans and face caps and everything, right? So people are looking for something different, and just maybe it's ideas. Just maybe it's time to hear a visionary that has a good idea for how to move Lagos, in a revolutionary way.
Are you that visionary?
I believe so.
Let's take a break. Hold that thought. When we come back, you keep sharing more of those thoughts. Lagos, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I've got the governorship candidate for the Labour Party here in Lagos. He is hoping to unseat Sanwo-Olu come 2023. If you've got questions, you've got comments, would love to hear them, would love to take them, but only after this break. I'm Ezekwesili on social media. Sandra Ezekwesili everywhere. Don't go away.
Give you the audacity. I say.
The debaters are ready. The panel of judges are ready. The judges have decided. The prize money is ready. 1 million naira. There's only one question left, Lagos. Are you, the audience, ready? It's the August edition of the I Beg to Differ debate tournament. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, your moderator. Join me from August 8th as the best student debaters go head to head. Weekdays at 4 on 99.3 Nigeria Info FM. This tournament is supported by Webster University, RLG Communications, obiwizi.com, Booker Hot, and Storm Body Spray.
TV.
So why are you so happy?
I got tired of hiding the phone, so I went to the Samsung store to see what I can afford. Samsung has a plan called Flex Pay that allows you to pay as low as 3,000 naira for any Samsung device of your choice and complete payment over a period of 3 to 12 months. I sharply picked a 6-month payment plan and I got a Galaxy A23.
This is a machine.
You
have been dulling yourself, Find Samsung Flex Pay and own your device right away without breaking your pocket. Terms and conditions apply. Hurry now while stock lasts.
Believe and win big. Experience the wonder of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar with Coca-Cola. Buy any Coca-Cola product with a white cap. Check the code under the cap and dial *8014*1* code # to participate for free. You could win an all-expense paid trip to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. There's also 250 million naira in airtime to be won instantly. T's and C's apply. Coca-Cola, official partner of the FIFA World Cup. This promo is approved by the FCCPC.
Imagine a life with zero worries. Imagine a world where you're relaxed and free, where all your dreams
With Pay Financial, you have zero worries when it's time to pay your bills, rent, school fees, and vacation. We'll be here making it easy for you.
Visit our website www.pagefinancials.com or call 017007243. Page Financials, taking you further.
Zizi! Which one be Zizi? I don't cash out. Why I no go Zizi?
You said fit Zizi. Shabali enter www.zbet.ng. Register and get your ogbonge welcome bonus. On Zbet, you fit win up to 50 million naira. After bonus, virtual and casino deposit bonus, instant payments, better odds, bigger wins. Even
if one game costs my ticket,
nothing spoil. Even if 2 games cut am set. Hey, and when you win, make sure say you sef Zizi.
Zbet, we speak your game.
Football's biggest season is here, and DSTV is the stadium with all the action. Enjoy every single match from the FIFA World Cup, the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, the UEFA Europa League, and the UEFA Champions League. That's all the stars from around the world in every competition that matters. Get DSTV HD decoder, dish plus 1 month compact subscription now for 12,000 naira only, and be part of sport's biggest stadium. Only on DSTV. T's and C's apply.
What gave you the audacity? I say, what gave you the temerity?
Oga contractor, why all this big grammar today?
Don't mind this yes site manager. I tell him say from now on, he must wait for me to come open all the Lafarge cement bags before them begin work. Him not the year work.
Oga, you self want your better inside the Lafarge Win Better Season 1 promo.
See you. Who not like better thing?
Yes, so Lafarge Win Better Season 1 promo don't land from now till October 2022. When you buy Lafarge cement, check inside the bag for your scratch card. Scratch them. Anything you see, now your luck be that. If you see recharge card, top up your airtime instant. But if you see tear rubber car, keke, TV, generator, industrial fan, DSTV, Go TV, bag of rice, and other better things, call the number on top your scratch card. We go deliver your gift to you sharply. Oh yeah, call your retailer, begin buy Lafarge cement, make you the win the go. See posters for more tori. Terms and conditions apply, sha.
Lafarge, building progress for people and for the planet.
They say she who asks questions cannot lose her way. So answer this for me. Why spend money to send money? Why buy airtime without a discount? Why pay fees to receive cash from abroad? Why can't you stream and shop globally with your card? And yes, Cheaper is available on App Store and Play Store. Why haven't you downloaded it yet? Cheaper. Move your money freely.
Get 70% off.
Say what?
70%?
Everyone loves massive discount because it either helps them save money or get more from their budget. But sadly, every day isn't Christmas. Unless like me, you've got to have the higher thermocool Gen Power Inverter Air Conditioner that helps me save 70% on my electricity consumption. I even enjoy multiple ACs when I'm on Gen. That's less bills and more comfort every single day. So, what will you do with your 70% saving?
Get the higher thermocool Gen Power Inverter Air Conditioner. That's a whopping 70% electricity saver. That's less bills, more comfort. Higher thermocool, always there for you.
Believe and win big. Experience the wonder of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar with Coca-Cola. Buy any Coca-Cola product with a white cap. Check the code under the cap and dial *8014*1 hash to participate for free. You could win an all-expense pay trip to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. There's also 250 million naira in airtime to be won instantly. T's and C's apply. Coca-Cola, official partner of the FIFA World Cup. This promo is approved by the FCCPC.
Here is the list of excuses that will no longer be accepted.
I beg, give me your hotspot. I want my data, but this one too much.
Please, could you put your Wi-Fi on? I'm out of data and the recharge card seller has closed.
Oh, I would have recharged though, but I can't find my wallet.
Please, I've got cramps and I can't get up. Can you share your hotspots? Oh no!
Don't know where my internet token is and I need to quickly buy data. Please, could you share your hotspot till I find it?
Hey, Jumbo, I will buy data, but that recharge card seller no dey ever get change. How good one?
Now there's really no excuse to ever be out of data with Glow Borrow Me Data. Dial *321# to borrow data now and pay later.
I beg, I fit share your hotspot. This rain bahad. Make thunder no go fireman.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
If you get business where they do, now Rain Money Business Loan Shop also. You don't go pay any money for the first 4 weeks. And once you clear the balance, your next loan will reach 99% more money with interest rate way better pass. Just enter internet, type rainmoney.com or call 0700 5000 500.
Sure you wanna feel that boost? Allow me to introduce Amber energy drink. No more shutting down, we're going up. Oh yeah, get ready, stimulate your energy. Amber now for energy. Go around tell somebody. Oh yeah, get ready, stimulate your energy. Amber now for
stores near you.
What gave you the audacity? I say, what gave you the temerity?
Oga contractor, why all this big grammar today?
No mind this site manager. I tell him, say from now on, he must to wait for me to come open all the Lafarge cement bags before them begin work. Him not the year work.
Oga, you self want job better inside the Lafarge Win Better Season 1 promo.
See you. Who not like better thing?
Yes, so Lafarge Win Better Season 1 promo don't land from now till October 2022. When you buy Lafarge cement, check inside the bag for your scratch card. Scratch anything you see, now your luck be that. If you see recharge card, top up your airtime instant. But if you see tear rubber car, keke, TV, generator, industrial fan, DSTV, Go TV, bag of rice, and other better things, call the number on top your scratch card. We go deliver your gift to you sharply. Oh yeah, call your retailer, begin buy Lafarge cement, make you the win the go. See posters for more tori. Terms and conditions apply, sha.
Lafarge, building progress for people and for we planet.
If you run your own business with Ren Money Loans, you make zero repayments for the first 4 weeks. And once you repay your business loan successfully, you can get 99% more money on your next loan at a lower interest rate. To apply, visit renmoney.com or call 0700 5000 500. Need money, Ren Money.
Our friend Oliver is what you call a man with a huge appetite. Gigantic, actually. And if there's one phrase we have come to know Oliver for, it is this.
More data, please.
No matter what we offer him.
More data, please.
So, guess what we did? We heard Glow created new data plans for people like Oliver, and we got him exactly that. And guess what Oliver said?
Excuse me, please, is this all for me? Only me?
Now, Oliver certainly has more than enough data. All thanks to the Glow Mega Data Plans.
With the longer validity you get on Glow Mega Data Plans, you can work from home with ease, run your business better, download non-stop, stream music and movies endlessly, learn online, and share data with anyone. No worries. Get 225 gigabytes at 30,000 naira for 30 days, 425 gigabytes at 50,000 naira for 90 days, and 1 terabyte at 100,000 naira for a year. Dial *777# now to start enjoying these mega plans.
Glow Unlimited.
My customer, I beg give me golden penny 400 grams midi pack. Now spaghetti my children want chop this night.
Madam Sabinus, which one be 400-gram midi pack?
Introducing Golden Penny Pasta new 400-gram midi pack with same quality. Golden Penny Pasta. Enjoy it your way.
Guy, the election campaign season is here again, and the politicians have started showing up in our communities to seek our votes.
Yes, so, but this time, we must look away from their handouts and demand things that will benefit us and our communities. One of those things is ensuring that these outbreaks that occur in our communities like cholera and Lassa fever are properly handled so our families can be better protected.
How can we possibly do that to protect our families?
We must first of all realize that infectious disease outbreak impact everyone negatively. Government at all levels need to ensure that these diseases are tackled and our communities are protected. COVID-19 has also shown that it is a case of when, not if, infectious diseases will happen, and the government need to be proactive in adequately preparing for these diseases.
That is true, but can we possibly get the government to see how important this is?
Yes, we can. We need to use our voices to speak up to educate our neighbors and family members, and also speak to our government representatives and political aspirants for them to understand that preparing for epidemics need to be made a priority. This message is from the Nigeria Health Watch, advocating for better health outcomes in Nigeria.
Believe and win big. Experience the wonder of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar with Coca-Cola. Buy any Coca-Cola product with a white cap. Check the code under the cap and dial *8014*1 code # to participate for free. You could win an all-expense paid trip to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. There's also 250 million naira in airtime to be won instantly. T's and C's apply. Coca-Cola, official partner of the FIFA World Cup. This promo is approved by the FCCPC.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. What does GRV have planned for Lagos? He's one of those people who hopes that they can topple Sanwo-Olu in the 2023 elections. He's the candidate for the Labour Party, Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour. And we've been talking about different things. We've gone from talking about, why Lagos doesn't currently work, according to him. And then we've moved on to something he hammers on all the time, which is traffic. When we were talking about the economy in Lagos and expanding the tax bracket, you said that there are aspects of Lagos, there are aspects of the economy in Lagos that you believe we could attract if we create enabling environments in the different parts of Lagos where these people are resident. What aspects of the economy do you believe are currently being undertaxed?
Well, I generally feel that there's a lot more taxes we could generate from the working class or the informal sector.
Okay.
But it must not be a burden, and there must be direct incentive.
Okay.
Right? I feel that you find that the informal sector is paying a lot in taxes, but it's not being accounted for. Even when you look at the NERTW and see how much money is actually generated by the NERTW, where does that money go? What's that money used for? Right? And when you look at how there's so many other people that are living in Lagos State, not business owners, but just working. And if we look at taxes as almost a subscription to a service from government, it will completely change the narrative and change how things are done. So, for instance, I give you an example. If to become part of the Commonwealth of Lagos, you must be a tax-paying resident, and that gives you access to healthcare insurance, right, at a micro level, so micro health insurance. Or, for instance, you're a market woman and you're selling the market, and being part of the Commonwealth of Lagos allows for your babies to be in a creche in the market, right? Or you have a situation where, as part of the Commonwealth of Lagos, you get access to credit, but this credit builds over time, right? So there is now a credit monitoring system that allows for your credit worthiness to grow over time, which then allows you get on the housing ladder. And if you pay back monies regularly, your credit rating increases, as is done in most developed countries in the world, where credit is used to social engineer the society, so you behave and manage money properly, and when you do that, you're met with more rewards. Because I keep telling people, it is madness that you need to pay for your rent upfront for an entire year or two. It's madness that you have to get all the money before you can buy a car or buy a house. Credit must be introduced into the system, and the people that are beneficiaries of this credit system must actually be regulated. They must be monitored. It must be a situation where when you manage resources properly, you are rewarded with higher credit rating.
So is it a question of increasing taxes, or is it a question of cutting out the middlemen and collecting the taxes directly?
I think, yes. I think that the more we can make payments go directly to government, the more we can transparently account for it, right? And even, so when you look at, for instance, let's look at NERTW.
Okay.
Now, it's possible to automate payments that these people collect every day,
okay,
right? But it's also possible to create jobs for these people, but create it in a way that they don't have somebody to look up to aspirationally to say, I have to be rough, I have to be a thug, I have to break things, and then politicians will come and use me, and then I'll become the next MC Uluomo of Lagos. We need to flatten it as opposed to have a pyramid situation. So as a member of that union or that organization, you should be entitled to certain things, whether it's health insurance, whether it's funds that allow you to be able to pay for your kids to go to school, whether it's even a proper salary, right? As opposed to just, so in that way, you social engineer violence out of society, because there are a lot of people that believe that it's only when they do their voice and they act tough and they are doing all these negative things that they will get reward in society.
But the conventional wisdom has been that if you automate these payments and cut them out of collection, they will resist violently.
They would resist because the government also allows for them to resist.
How will you check it if that arises?
So, for instance, there must be enforcement of the law. right? And we must create alternatives. You see, this is the problem. Lagos State functions there's no human face to it. So, like you look at Todogbami, they want to do a development, they just push people out, right? And this goes back to your first question about designing policy with the people as opposed to just for the people. For successful policy implementation, you need to consult with the people that are supposed to be beneficiaries of these things.
Okay.
So you take the NRTW, for instance, or any group of people that are collecting money on behalf of the government, consulting with them, right? And letting them know this is what we're trying to achieve. And these are the alternatives that we are looking at for you, right? And getting their buy-in. But ultimately understanding that as a government, you have to toe also a hard line because you're trying to change the way things are done in the state, right? So that's how I will go about it. I do feel that an alternative means of livelihood must actively be created for the many young people in Lagos State. And that goes to empowering people with skills, like making skill acquisition a norm.
I'm sure the current administration will say we're doing that. They're constantly releasing presses about the number of people they're empowering with different skills. Why isn't it translating? Why should we believe it to be different?
Because power in Lagos State has always hedged themselves on thuggery. It has always hedged itself on you find that there are local governments where politicians even send drugs into those local governments before politics, before election season. We saw what happened in NSAS where BRT buses came with bus loads of what you would call thugs with machetes in front of the government house, right? They are enabled and they feel that they become useful if they can show violence. Now, forming a government that despises that comes to you and says, we want something different for you, right? Completely changes that narrative. Creating a situation where it's no longer okay. You don't get that protection. You don't get that hand-in-hand cooperation where we use you to do our dirty work. We now need to find an alternative means for you to make a living.
What are these alternative means? Because I want to know, what specific skills do you believe a skills acquisition program should focus on? Because clearly, like I mentioned, you have these skills acquisition programs happening in Lagos at the moment, and they don't seem to be having much of an impact.
So I feel that if you localize, so for instance, each local government, right, partnering with the private sector and saying, okay, what skills do you need to manufacture things here? What kind of assemblies can we have here, right? And building that system around it. So this must be done in partnership with commercial agencies, with manufacturing companies, so you ensure that you're not giving people skills that are obsolete, right? There's only so much you can do making soap if there is no market for that. So this must be a comprehensive thing, right? And for me, I feel before you even go and start banning things, you must first create an alternative and create an enabling environment. So these are not things that will be done in 1 month or 2 months, right? Data is going to be collected. Companies are going to be spoken to because the private sector and the government must work hand in hand in regard to this, right? So for me, you look at how many Chinese companies have successfully come into Lagos. And they're producing things. They're producing things on shifts. Literally, the companies are running 24 hours. This happens, on Obakran in Ikeja. You have a lot of Chinese companies that are producing things 24 hours, right? So what skill set do they need? And how can we do the training so that it's easier for them to hire these young people?
Let's go to Lagos. 99.3, hello. Thanks for calling us.
Hello.
You've got 1 minute, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, President Sandra, good evening.
Good evening. You've got 1 minute.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please, for me, you've been mentioning this program and tout. My concern is INEC and the security agent. 2019, you heard what happened in Okota and Aguda. What did the leader of the party, APC, said? Oh, despite what happened, it doesn't warrant cancelling the result. If INEC can start their feet, any party that foment trouble, cancel their result in the election. Then, if they can contract somebody like Mike Igini, the former Akwa Ibom State INEC commissioner, to conduct election in Lagos, I think that guy will help us out.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've got a comment here asking, does your party have senators and representatives in various districts of Lagos? Because this will further help to spread your popularity to some remote areas and win the votes of Labour Party lovers.
Yes, so the answer to that is yes. We have senatorial candidates and we have assembly candidates. Obviously, a lot of it came through the substitution window during the process. So I'm sure INEC will publish all the names very soon. To the first question about what happened in 2019, it was shameful what happened in Okota in 2019. Fortunately, now there's the electronic transmission of votes. But I assure you that the security program that's going to happen this time is not going to be anything like 2019.
Okay.
That situation where people can just come to our strongholds and think they can do things and get away with it, that's not going to be the situation this time.
Okay.
So for every listener that's considering voting for us, I promise you are going to be secure, you're going to be safe.
How should Lagosians defend their votes at the collation?
Well, when you vote, you just stay at the polling unit. You see, the time where you go to the ward collation center and local government collation center, they switch off the lights, they chase people out, and then they write whatever they want to write, that time has gone.
Okay.
And the Electoral Act has truly empowered INEC to be able to do what is right, because there are stiff penalties for agents that commit fraud.
Okay.
You have a situation where you cannot write a result that's different from what has been transmitted from the polling unit. Even if the manual process of collation is ongoing, as soon as that result is transmitted, that is the benchmark for what happened at that polling unit, right? So what we must do is we vote and we ensure that they transmit the accurate results that came from that polling unit while they are there. We cannot allow them go away as they try to do in Oshun to transmit results. And it was wonderful because all the people surrounded them and said, we have our own Wi-Fi, we have our own Wi-Fi. Do you need internet? Here is the internet. Transmit this thing now. And it's beautiful to see the voice of, this, I say this all the time, the voice of the people is the voice of God. It's beautiful to see that happen. If this electoral act was the same as last Oshun election, it would not have gone the same way.
Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour is the Guber candidate for the Labour Party here in Lagos. He's hoping to unseat Governor Sanwo-Olu next year during the 2023 elections. We're going to have several conversations with Mr. Rhodes-Vivour, so not to worry. I'm sure Lagos wanted to ask you questions after questions after questions. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
I can't believe it. So fast.
I know. But he will be back. He doesn't hide from the media.
Unlike some.
He will come back, and when he does, on the next time he's here, I'm not even going to ask any questions. I'll just throw him to Lagos because he's hoping to govern you.
Exactly.
Right? So I'll just give him to you, and you ask all the questions you want to ask, and he'll be able to answer those questions. But Rhodes-Vivour, thank you so much for your time today.
It's always a pleasure.
And good luck with your campaign.
Thank you.
We're going to touch bases again and see how it's going.
Thank you.
Lagos, don't go away, because after the news at 6, I want to ask, do your parents have a favorite child? Do you have a favorite child? Are you your parents' favorite child? Why are you laughing? Did your parents have a favorite child? Do they have a favorite child?
They loved us all.
They love, yeah. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Hot Facts. Don't go away.
Get breaking news, updates, and the best of talk.
Women have to work twice, even thrice as hard for them to get things that just come so naturally to a lot of men.
And I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those that need to be fired are fired.
It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not.